let's see, back up,
Okay.
start over.
All right.
Okay.
This is the control valve right here. This is what the toggle switches up there are actually tied into this at the bottom. The wires come out of the bottom, so it controls it electrically. This is the manual controls. These are only momentary controls, forward and reverse, on your pump and your two agitators. So if you had to bump it one way or the other from down here, you can, but when you let go, they're going to go off. Now, if it's on up on top, and this lever is going to move as that's turned off and on up there. It's going to move with it, just like you're moving it down here. So when it's on up there, you won't be able to control it from down here. It has to be off up there to be able to control it down here. But again, you've got your forward and reverse on all three of them. All your hoses come out of the back.
So if they were operating a hose from down here below, how would they do?
Yeah, so if somebody was on the end of the hose and they were going to run this, they can run this however they like. It's the same as up there. The only thing, there's no way to latch it to where you can walk off and leave it. It's just going to be a momentary operation. So, you know, you're going to have to do it by hand. When you let go, it's going to go off. But you could run it, you know, from here if you just had a little bit to run. Somebody standing here and you got somebody else on the end of the hose. Instead of climbing up on top of the machine, you could just run it right here, you know, for a little bit, and then you're done. But and these can be removed if they decide they don't want them because they think somebody might mess with them when they shouldn't be and they have no use for them. Then there's one bolt right here on each one of them. You can just loosen that Allen head bolt, take it off, and then this lever comes off, and then they'll never even know it had levers on it. You can use it either way. This is your level gauge and thermometer for your oil. It tells your oil level. You've got a high mark and a low mark, just as long as the level is between those two marks, and then it tells your temperature right there. Typically this thing will run, you know, if it's pretty hot weather, it might run 115 to 135 degrees. And then over on the other side is the cooler. This cooler has a temperature switch that's mounted down in the manifold. It's got two wires coming out of it, hooks into this cooler. The cooler comes on at around 120, 25 degrees, and it's pretty effective. It cools the oil down, does a pretty good job. But that won't come on until that oil temperature reaches around 120. And then back up in there is that's the return oil filter for the unit. Not sure what the service hours are on that. It does have a gauge up there that if it gets restricted, it's going to let you know that it's, you know, at a glance that it needs replacing. So, but it's easy enough to get to.
How often will they have to change the hydraulic oil?
I'm not sure. That oil, it had a label on the barrel, and it said it was a 5,000 hour oil. So I guess that would be kind of a rule of thumb there, you know.
You might go over that ball valve with that.
Oh yeah, down here, this is the 2-inch ball valve. That's the suction line going to the pump, and we removed the handle so that somebody wouldn't be accidentally turning it off. If that's ever turned off and somebody runs that pump, it'll burn that pump up very quick. So leaving it off doesn't tempt somebody to turn it off, but yet it can be turned off if they ever have to service that pump or any of the lines. They can shut the flow off to it and save their oil that way.